Hello and happy Sunday to everyone. Hope everyone is doing fine. Hope everyone is staying safe in this time of a pandemic. I hope you're wearing a mask. I wanted to shout out Miss Natasha Charles. She was
Yes.
the first one on that I saw. So shout out to you,
Yeah.
Natasha. Shout out Patrice. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Geraldine. Hi, Petra. Hi, Mo. Angela. Hi, Lois. And also an amazing hello to these beautiful ladies joining us on this awesome Sunday. Special shout out to our guests, Julian and Queen. It's awesome to see you guys. It's awesome to share this amazing platform with you. And, happy Sunday. How has everyone been?
Happy
Good.
Sunday. Funny, when I logged on, I wrote Natasha Charles because I was like, whoa, that was quick. It's almost she was sitting there waiting. So we appreciate you. Hey, my cousin Geraldine across the pond. We love, love, love and admire everybody's support.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So,
Yeah.
look at beautiful Landy Landy. I'm loving it all right now.
This was the quickest thing I could find. I was out shopping today. So,
Oh, what were you shopping for?
we've never spent Christmas in our house. We've
Mhm.
lived here for, since 2009, and every year we go to Canada for Christmas. And this
Oh,
year, so I never bothered to do decorations or anything like that. But this
okay.
year, we're deciding to stay. So I'm going to, just because of COVID and all the other things. And every time I cross the border, I have to think of a good story to tell. And
Hmm.
I'm a little bit leery of causing problems, more additional problems.
Okay.
So we are staying home. So I went out after Black Friday and got a Christmas tree, and I got the tree set.
Aw.
And so now me and my sisters are gonna have like a who has the best Christmas decorations. So it's
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's nice.
yeah. So we're doing stuff like this. So it's fun to get these things together because it's something that we never do.
It would be very crazy, Landy. When they do the toilet paper pranks. That would be one for the books, to top them all off, because they're gonna have that nice Christmas tree inside. You
Uh-huh.
just put the camera outside and you be like, hey, there goes my tree right there, all nice and decorated.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So we've been taking care of stuff like that, and Thanksgiving was quite nice. I know that all of us, well, for those of us who celebrated Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
whether you really believe in the holiday or not, some people are very,
mhm.
the day Thanksgiving is very controversial because some people believe that we really don't need to have Thanksgiving.
So
But I took it as a day to really just sit back, and because, we were encouraged to not mix with other people and to stay with
Right.
those we live with, we had a really, really nice, quiet dinner with myself and my husband and our kids. And we just ate and we watched movies, and it was nice. It was really nice. Not too much
How
food.
how about you, Queen? I mean, for those of watching, we have two beautiful, beautiful, charming young women joining us today, Queen Cleopatra and Julian Latham.
Mhm.
Ladies, talk to the audience. Let them know who you are and why you want to hang out with the top five crew.
Yeah.
Well, anything that says top for me, I gotta be in it because I'm in it to win it. Even in school, I've always been in the top three, top five, nothing less than that. So hey, here I am
Nice.
today in it in my adulthood um, segment, of my life, so to speak. Well, as Landis said, for Thanksgiving for me, it wasn't anything that I celebrated because once I found out the true meaning of what it is, I just give thanks as another day. I
Hmm.
actually did a little video on it on that Thursday. But we're so thankful for life, for new opportunity, new mercies and all of that. And our families, our friends, like Danny said last week, being in your company, meeting you this year was an honor for me, and being among you, being on your platform, it's just a great feeling. You know, for me, I believe in, like, the fact that you said being among your top five women empowerment. That's what it is all about, being that.
Hmm.
Yes.
um,
And being Landy's older sister, I
I
always
was
listen to
wondering. I
everything
was
she
wondering
has.
when that was gonna come out. I love
Oh yeah,
that.
I always listen to everything that she says. We advise each other, and I'm her biggest coach, and she is mine. So we're going to be really missing her this Christmas. And I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. In Canada, we kind of piggyback on the commercial aspect. So
Mhm.
we have the Black Friday shopping, and tomorrow is Cyber Monday. So a lot of
Mhm.
people will be capitalizing and getting their Christmas gifts early. It's going to be a different Christmas this year as the competition is on for who has the best Christmas tree and
Uh-oh.
also who has the best bedroom decorations too.
Uh-oh.
I'm looking forward to that, Landy. Bring it on. Bring it on.
Oh wow, it's on. I wanted to say a special shout out to Patricia Conwell. As I'm reading the message, it says, "Hello, I'm writing for my grandma. She can't see. She had double eye surgery. She can't text, but she's listening. So to
Oh, wow.
Oh, hello, Grandma. What's Grandma's name?
recovery,
What
and
is
I
Grandma's
hope all
name?
goes well."
Mhm.
Yes, Patricia Conwell. If you can let us know your grandmother's name so we can personally give her a shout out and thank her for listening to us, even in a time now that it might be painful. I hope she is, at ease, she's comfortable. And, I just really pray for a speedy recovery for her. And just again, it just goes to show that, the little things that impact people, that commitment comes across in so many ways. So thank her, humbly thank her for listening. And, it's just like give her our best wishes. So
Mhm.
if you can share her name so we can definitely give her a personal shout out. So that's for Patricia. So ladies, now that we know what's going on in your world, well, Diani, we know that, are you home?
I'm back from Puerto Rico. So I take advantage of all the holidays to either travel or to do something different. So I don't swim downstream with all the salmon. I go upstream. So when the
Okay.
world is doing one thing, and it's always been like that for me. I always go the opposite direction. So the kids and I, as is our yearly tradition, this year we celebrated giving thanks in
Mhm.
Puerto Rico. And it was kind of neat just to have their full undivided attention, no competition, just me and the two of them.
Yes.
One lives in New York, one lives in Michigan, so I rarely get to see them. So it was kind of nice. And, we were on the beach, and of course, Puerto Rico is on lockdown.
Mhm.
Yes.
So we had to do our COVID testing. You did not have to quarantine, which was nice, but you did have to do the mask and the constant wiping of the hands. So that was really, really, really nice. And I didn't want the hour to pass without talking about Hermelin and Victoria, who
Yes.
are off for today. They're just taking a little R&R break today. As women, sometimes we have to rest. That's how we keep our looks nice and fresh. Sometimes we just got to close the eyes and calm the brain. So that's what keeps us nice and fresh. So that's kind of what went on for me for Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
Awesome. So her name is Patricia. And thank you, Soraya. I hope I am pronouncing your name right. Thank you for
Her
being
granddaughter.
granddaughters. And as she said, granddaughters, guys, I like to fluff myself because I'm like a grandmother's granddaughter. I love
Uh-huh.
my grandmothers. I grew up with them, and they share so much wisdom. They just pour into you so much. And
Mhm.
I hope that we all can embrace the ones that we have. And I'm hoping that we're not taking them for granted. So if
Mhm.
you are still blessed to have your grandparents, just call them, show them some love,
Mhm.
and say hi, check in. Hey, I'm just checking in to make sure you are okay, because we might go before them, but we also want to make sure that when we go or when they go, they know they're going with a lot of love,
Absolutely.
a lot of care,
Yes.
right? So hopping into it, guys, now
Mhm.
that we know what's happening in our world, there has been a lot of things that have been going on in the Caribbean and in our world. And I wanted to start off with, in Jamaica, they're saying that it's going to be a spike, or therefore seeing a spike in teenage pregnancies because of COVID. And I know, Diani, that's something that when it touches, your home base, you're very
Yes.
tuned to that. So, what are you thinking about this topic, and what were you able to discover about that?
Yeah, and I'm just gonna stop the show and acknowledge Precious Killer Pitchmaster Williams, my girl out of Brooklyn. Oh my God, thank you for joining, Queen, 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 Queen. She's about to give me tears. Thank you so much. Precious is like a die-hearted, ride or die. Just that she supports all things women, and just to see her tuning into the show today and supporting me, girl, I love you. Precious Pitchmaster Williams out of Brooklyn.
That's a powerful name right there. That is
Yes,
good.
really. And she's named after her grandmother. So I really, really want to thank you. And then Geraldine, we lost our Gogo, our grandmother in Zimbabwe 3 weeks ago. So it's like, oh, what a show today.
Mhm.
Teenage pregnancy in Jamaica. I think I can be the expert on that because I've lived it.
Mhm.
Yes, that's my story. And Queen, you can pipe in too because they're also from Jamaica, and they're talking about the spike that's about to happen with teenage. And I don't even know if Jamaica can afford a spike in teenage pregnancy because it's such a common thing on the island. I don't think we were never able to get a handle on teenage pregnancy. I got pregnant in Jamaica at the age of 15. And the first thing, and the study talks about this, first of all, it talks about 6 to 7% of pregnancies occur between the ages of 15 to 19. The study did lump Latin America and the Caribbean together. So in total, there were over 876,000 unsafe abortions
Ooh.
between Latin America. Unsafe. I'm not talking about the safe. I'm not talking about, sanitized. And
Mhm.
Yolandi, you're both nurses, so you know the difference between going to a chop shop, what they call it,
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
having a proper abortion. So in Jamaica, because of COVID-19, they're seeing and are predicting a spike in the amount of teenage pregnancies. This bothers me because I know a lot of young women are home.
Mhm.
Um, and they might now be more also exposed to abuse. So
Yeah.
there's some abuse that's going to happen, and there's going to be some consensual sex. And I say consensual because age of consent in Jamaica, I think, is 17, and they're saying these pregnancies are happening at the age of 15. As a
Mhm.
result, we're having all these unsafe abortions that are leading to maternal deaths, damage to the pelvic floor of the woman, and Jamaica already has a very high rate of HIV infections. So this makes me super nervous for my women, not only in Jamaica, but in the Caribbean and Latin America. Queen, I don't know if you saw this study at all or if you have anything to add to that.
Mhm.
I must say, Diane, you are correct. I myself was a teenager mom. I actually got pregnant just out of high school at the age of 16.
Mhm.
And for me, it is the fact that if I had the parenting love bond where, I could hear from mom the things, to do, not to do, that, just to reassure me, I think that would have helped me to plan my life better, so to speak. So with that being said, I think parents nowadays should be, should have a bond with their children to let them know what's going on, educate them more, or whoever the guardian, grandparents, because I also was raised by my grandmother, first child, first grandchild. So after my mom left us to go local living, I was living with my grandmother. But I didn't have that parenting bond where they would educate me on things not to do. So I think that was what led me, I just out there was exploring, doing my own thing, getting
Mhm.
pregnant. And like you mentioned, for abortion, it's surprising, how many of our young girls are doing abortions, especially in the Latin community. That is so true.
Mhm.
It's an alarming rate, at an alarming rate. And they have to be careful because it depends on the stage of pregnancy and all
Mhm.
of that, and how they do it, where they go, and how many times actually, because you'd be surprised how many times these young girls are having abortion. Not one, not two, not three.
It's repetitive.
It's
Mhm.
getting repetitive, exactly. So, I'm just appealing to the parents to just be there for our kids. Love them, show them love, and let them know the things that they are to take care of. Now, as it relates to abuse, I myself was abused as a child,
Mhm.
molested and all of that. And
Very common in, I don't know about the other Caribbean islands, ladies, but in Jamaica, I know it's super common. And that's why when I hear that a lot of these young women are home because of COVID and the parents are out at work, my ears perk up. It makes me nervous because I'm like, who's watching, who's protecting these
Mhm.
teenagers from the uncle, from who's protecting, So it did make me a little bit nervous when I saw that.
Mhm.
yeah, that's
Well,
true.
I would say that with that being said, I think that in general, I think in a couple years there's going to be like a boom, just like how, you had the baby boomers and all those people who went off to war or they came back from war and all they were doing was like having sex and everybody was having children. This is another time where people are forced to be like close to each other and people are getting bored. So even if it's not in the Caribbean, I think in general people are probably doing it a lot more because
Mhm.
of lack of other things
Something
to
to do.
something to do. So there's going to be a lot of children who are going to be born within the next 5 years. I can foresee that there would be a boom. But in relation to what's happening in Jamaica and probably in many of the other islands, they should probably start maybe doing some PSAs or something, or maybe advocating that they have access to things like what is it called, Plan B, and things like this, so that they can at least have different avenues of trying to protect themselves as opposed to just going straight to abortion.
Right.
So having knowledge and understanding of the different things that are out there, different ways that you can protect yourself is really critical. And I think a lot of times that I know for myself, and I'm in my 40s, my mom never had a conversation with me about sex ever. I just
Mm.
kind of learned from my sisters what not to do because they were all before me and I saw them get licks. I saw them get pull up. I saw them get feet in their chest. I saw them all. So I was like, ooh, well, I'm not going to get caught doing what you're doing because I'm going to be smarter when my turn comes around. By the time they got around to me, my parents had changed a lot. So the way that they dealt with my sisters, which was a very firm hand and, oh, you're not doing this right, you're going to get beat or you get lashed with something or you get boxed down, those kinds of things. When it came to me, my father never laid a hand on me. And every time my mother might have wanted to come for me, my dad was always saying, leave her alone. She's a good girl. Just leave her alone. And they might argue and then it'd be done. So I think that parents need to find different ways to reach their children. And that's going back to the point that Queen mentioned, that you need to have these conversations because I think that's way more effective than lashes.
And even to add to that, Landy, I think, and Queen, you were talking about, being abused as a child. I don't know if you want to share any more of that, but also to punish the abusers. I don't think we have a culture in Jamaica where we punish our abusers. In fact, it's the opposite. If a child says, I'm abused, they are the ones, the mother will say, no, you beg. So they're blaming the child more than just taking it and kind of punishing the abuser.
It's true.
And I think, Diane, what some of these abuse stemmed from too. So, as children raising up, you had that one house, you have brother, sister, aunt, uncles, everybody's grandparents, everybody parents, everybody, are together in that one house. And I remember when we were kids, who used to play Dolly House? You know what I'm saying? Mama and Papa and all of these things. So some of these abuse, I think, stems from the Dolly House um, little games that we were playing. But as a child, I didn't know what to do, where to turn. I was just, innocent to everything and just doing what I was told, whatever, just being there like a lamb, so to speak. But like you said, I think, along with, arresting these people or, letting them face the penalties, we should be talking more about these things so that people are more enlightened to the things that are happening within families. You understand? So that they know that, look, this is not the way. If you want somebody, go outside. You know what I'm saying? So I think education along with penalizing them and being stringent so that it discontinues.
I agree completely with you, what you're saying, Queen. To add to that, I really think, your sex education should start at home, and parents need to start getting more comfortable with having that conversation with their children. Otherwise, they're going to just learn it from their iPad, looking at YouTube or whatever chat group they're in. So we need to have that conversation now, even more so now that everybody's on lockdown. Don't be afraid to talk about the birds and the bees. And we also need to speak to young ladies about Planned Parenthood. If they're going to be sexually active, what are some of the precautions that they need to take to prevent them from getting pregnant, and also to keep them from getting sexually transmitted diseases? I'm sounding too nursey right now, but it's very, very important. Even with boys, if they're going out, you need to speak to them about protecting themselves, and also have a honest conversation. If pregnancy does occur, then what are your options going to be as a mother? What do you do when your daughter comes home and says, "Mom, I'm pregnant. What can I do? I need you to help me." Beating them is not going to solve the story. They need support, they need understanding, and they need your guidance as to what are the next steps that you're going to take.
Yeah.
And as someone who's looking very much forward to having some grandchildren, I would say, sit down and do some constructive talking with your children. It takes a village to raise a child, and I'm sure people are young, they make mistakes, and you can sit down and start having that conversation and start from a place of love. Do not start from a place of blame, because it's not going to do anything to resolve it.
Wow, I love that. Start from a place of love.
Real quick,
I wanted. Oh, go ahead, Queen. Go ahead.
real quick, I'm not gonna stay long. Like as Julie said, when I was pregnant, my mom was like trying to keep it on her hush hush, and what she mentioned to me was abortion, and I was like, no, I'm gonna bring my child. If it means it's gonna be banana trash or flour bag, cracker child, my child is coming. So
Yeah.
these things, a lot of our parents, they were not educated too. So education is key. They try to keep
Yes.
it on the hush hush, and that's not the way. I don't think so.
And I definitely I see a lot of people, sharing about having the conversation about the birds and the bees. And I just wanted to share a little light, and being in a different setting, in the classroom, we tend as adults to underestimate kids in terms of, I think the phase or the phrase, the birds and the bees should be extinct. And we should start talking to our kids about sex. That's what it is. We need to stop, giving them these kid-friendly definitions and be very straightforward, because what our kids are looking for from us is upfrontness, the truth, clear and straightforward explanations. They're not looking for you to sugarcoat things, because they know exactly what it is. And what it is that they search for us, within us, to see if we're going to be straightforward, if we're going to give it to them in layman's terms, right? Just clear. And that's what it is. Like, sometimes parents are very ashamed to talk directly to their kids about sex, calling it what it is. And it's definitely detrimental to their intellect. As Lisa was saying, her first grader came home with the full definition. That will tell you how early they're coming home with it.
Yeah.
They're being exposed. And think about it. In one household, they're talking about sex, and they're talking about it clear like day. And in your household, you might be sheltered. But remember that your child is not sheltered by you the 8 or 10 hours of the day when they're in a classroom, when they're socializing with other friends.
Yes.
And you have to prepare them. You have to armor them with the language that they're going to hear outside. Just like you cannot shelter them from hearing the curse words, you cannot shelter them from hearing the actual truth. Today, we're going to have a conversation about sex. I don't know if you have heard about it. I don't know if you have been exposed to it, but I want to be the first one to expose you to it. I want to be the one to have that conversation. And you want to make your child feel comfortable. As we are going to come back, when we come back, we're going to talk about discipline. But I wanted to share a quote from that article, and it says that children don't want to hear what you know until they know that you care. And a lot of
Mm.
times, parents, because they don't know how to come across, they come across very aggressive, they come across very rough, and their children tend to shut down. Parents, I'm pleading with you guys, do not penalize your kids, or do not undermine your kids by having this rough and harsh conversation, or making it very mean.
Yeah.
Come from a place of care. Show them that you want to protect them and you love them, and that's why I'm guarding you, or I'm arming you with this
Right.
information. And when they do come to you guys, know that it's happening, right? Don't be so like, oh, really? That's what you're going. No, be open-minded to them. Listen, because they're coming to you. It says a lot. Don't stop them in their tracks, because you know what? When kids shut down, they shut down, and you don't want
I
them
agree.
going out there and asking the wrong people for that information. So, on that note, we're going to take a little break, and we're going to come back with some more awesome stuff to educate and to liberate you guys, right? I'll
Yeah.
see you in a little bit.
Hey, I got some good news for you. Looking for a passionate immigration lawyer with experience that spans over 2 decades? Someone trusted that served immigrant families just like yours? Well, look no more. Now you can benefit from her personal and professional experience. Diane Winter Funding. Schedule a consultation now and get assistance with your immigration journey. Specialize in adjustment of status, B1 business visa, B2 visitors visa, consular processing, deportation defense, naturalization, and more. Give us a call today at 813-815-3529. That's 813-815-3529, or online at winterimmigration.com. Attorney Diane Winter Funde. Law done differently.
Amazing, amazing. Welcome back. And I'm very happy to see a lot of people, sharing in their personal experiences here. And back to Lisa. Lisa was sharing with us that at 23, we had a hospital doctor try to shame my daughter for being on birth control at 23 years
Oh,
old.
wow.
I
Now,
said shame on that
Whoa,
doctor.
shame
Shame
on
on
that
him.
doctor.
according to what's his name, Charlemagne, he's a donkey of the day.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely a
We
donkey.
gave him that title. We're going to
A
borrow
donkey of the
of
day.
the day. Why would you do that? And that's what I'm talking about, right? People are coming and they're making, at 23, she can make a very sound decision, right? And she's choosing to protect herself. And shame on him for wanting to shame her for doing something that is self-care for her, and for taking precautions. And as we talk about that, Julian, I think you're going to agree with me when we talk about discipline. And all you ladies, as Yolandi said, everyone has their own experience with discipline.
Yes.
My mom was the disciplinarian. My dad, on the other hand, was the let's go take a walk, and have the conversation. But his face would be the one doing the discipline, like, tell you this is not gonna happen, okay?
Right.
And you knew, like, he didn't have to say anything much to me, and I already knew, so I didn't even try it. But again, now in a time where kids are being exposed again to friends, to social media, to different outlets, right? Old time discipline, I want to say old time discipline because, discipline does have to evolve. It doesn't work, right? It's for some people, it just does not work. What do you guys think about that? Like using the licks and the threats, and I mean the face still works if you do it right.
Yes, that wonderful magical look that lots of us got
right?
used to. I would say that there was an interesting article there on teaching fathers that the traditional disciplinary measures are not working with the kids today. They're a lot more smarter than I was. A 12-year-old is more smarter than I was at probably 17, because they're being exposed to so much more things through the media. So, the instructions for nowadays is that fathers and mothers need to learn how to sit down and talk to their children, because you could be coming from two different realities, and you need to find a safe space to sit down and talk to children. The first thing that they need to know is that you're coming from care and for love, and understand that they're going through a very difficult situation right now with the lockdown and everything. And, it starts with listening. What's going on in their world? How are you coping without having your friends to talk to and see every day? And if you're choosing to send your child to school, how are they feeling going to school with a mask on and the threat of COVID? How are they feeling about that? And they have to realize that when children are acting up, it's usually because they have an unmet need. So I think something very interesting that you had said before, when your child is talking to you, you need to look beyond the talk and find a deeper meaning and a connection to your child when you're talking to them. The traditional ways, I can remember talk from my father. He'd start the conversation, well, you're under my roof. And when you're under my roof, you do as I say. Or, you think you're a big woman? Oh, yes. That's you're going to get what big women want out there on the street. That is not the way to talk to your kids. We have to, come.
But what if it worked, Julian? I mean, my dad was pretty strict, and I'm not going to call my parents abusers. I'm not. I grew up in the Caribbean. I got my tail kicked.
Yeah.
I got my fair share of discipline handed out to me, and I handed out a fair share to my children. And now I see there's this fascination. First of all, I do not support the abuse of children, physical, verbal, or otherwise, not. However, I think it goes back to us as parents having full control to know the kind of discipline that works for our child. And I think somebody alluded to that, like my Danielle, my older, Danielle, you had to, it was a, you had to. Whereas with my Damani, he's a little bit gentler, so I didn't have to be as harsh. Or maybe I was biased because it's a boy, because in the Caribbean, I think we raise the boys a little bit lighter. So I think, yes, we need to discipline our children differently, but I'm tired of these little kids growing up as thugs. I'm tired of them in the classroom attacking teachers, attacking adults. So there's a thin line, I think, and Colleen, I know you're in the classroom, but there's a thin line, I think, where we have to let these children know they are children and that they have to respect the adults. Otherwise, our criminal justice system is going to take care of them if we don't.
Yes. But like you said, there's a fine line to everything. I see Deanne Fraser saying, I believe in the occasional wooden spoon. I think I got the spoon, the cup, and the boot. By the time they got to Landy, they were just too tired because I gave them a good workout. But I am a survivor. And whatever I got, it made me stronger. And I don't back down.
Look at us now.
If you say no, I'm going to come harder.
The
thing about it too is that I think that, this old school, like we want to call it, old school way of disciplining our kids where, West Indian parents, they have their rules and, the man is the head of the house or the wife is the one who does the discipline and, you're not supposed to challenge your father and, you have certain things that you have to obey, certain rules. I think it's good to have some kind of a standard where you're going to, because you're not trying to be your kid's best friend.
No.
Right?
True.
You are a mother, you're teaching them things. You have to have some kind of a guidelines of how you want your household to run. Right? And regardless of the influences that are outside, hopefully the things that you are instilling in them is going to stick with them. So it's not, some people take it a bit too far. I used to have an uncle who used to really get prepared for beating. Like he used to wet the belt, pull your pants down,
Oh,
line
that's too
up,
much.
lash you. You know, I don't know where that came in his mind. I don't know if that came from maybe somebody did that to him in his past, but he was taking it to a whole other level. And it would be funny when I would sit with my cousins and we would talk about these things. And then sometimes they would feel really bad because you could see the scars that are left from this. I feel that you still have to have a firm hand with your children
Yes.
and you have to give them knowledge and understanding. And you're, like you said, you're not going to be their best friend. But my one of the things that I use a lot is just talking to them through music, using that as a segue to tackle certain topics. Like there was this one
Mhm.
song, you know, that song. I think I don't know who sang it, but the line in the song was, um, "And I'm gonna eat your booty like groceries" or something like that. Do you know that song?
No, we do not know that song.
No,
That sounds gross. You know it. It was a
I do
very
not know
popular
that. You're
song.
gonna eat your
I
booty
know
like
this
this.
song. Eat the
Do
booty
you know
like
the song?
groceries.
I
It
don't.
said.
I don't.
Well, anyways, my kids, whenever we would be in the car and the song was like very popular, it would play on all the radio stations here in New York. And when it would come on, I'm driving my car and I see my daughter watching me like this. Like, what is she gonna say after this comment? And so I say, you know, I would use that as a window to say, you know what? I don't think that's a really good thing to do. Okay. And if somebody wants to do that to you, you gotta really question if they're gonna kiss you after, what is this gonna look like? Me and they would be like, "Oh, mommy, you're nasty." I said, "No, I'm being very serious.
Yes.
This is something that, and these are the kinds of ways that I would use windows to open up these
Those teachable
conversations that may
moments.
seem
Yeah.
uncomfortable. You kind of go through the music and you use different things that they might be talking about at certain terms, and you kind of break it down. And I like to lose because I am a nurse.
Mhm.
I like to give them like the gory details of like the diseases and the different things that can pop up and come out of your private parts. And yeah, I told
Mhm.
my son, you know, this is what you need to look for because when you're with a girl, you better make sure you look at what you're where you're going
Oh my gosh.
because
And
you don't know
so
what's waiting in there. You got to be careful.
yes.
And he'll be like, mommy. I'm like, no, I'm just telling you because if you frighten them enough, maybe they'll stay away from it, or at least they're gonna have it in their mind to be careful. That's my whole thing.
let's
Mhm.
let's hope, Randy. Let's hope because you know some kids are daredevils, right? You like they really want to see like what you're
I know.
talking about.
Like Hermelin said, some of them need a thump.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Some of
but
them,
did you say Mo Franklin? He said he would kneel on a grater. I think that might be a little bit far,
Ooh,
right?
yes, but I've heard
yeah.
of that. I've heard
You,
of
I
that.
didn't hear of that in the. Did you
Yes.
hear of that in
Oh,
the
yes,
Caribbean?
Dione. That happened in our country. Come on, Dione.
Kneel
Yes,
down
I've
on
heard of
greater? No, me
yes.
never.
Yes, yes, yes.
To kneel
Listen,
down. I heard about kneeling down on rice.
Yeah.
Yes,
standing,
Right.
holding
What
up
about the
and
pepper
holding the
sauce?
ears. Mm-hmm.
Pepper sauce
mhm.
too.
Yes, Julian. I heard
Mhm.
about the pepper sauce.
Where's the pepper
The
sauce
sauce
going?
in the
In your
Where the
mouth
pepper
when you're
sauce
rude.
go?
Oh wow.
Oh,
Listen, I
wow.
heard about the pepper sauce in the private areas. And
Oh
I'm just like, okay,
no,
that's inhumane.
Oh.
That's
no,
go. But then,
no, that's going
but
too
you know,
far.
as inhumane as it sounds, think about it. Think about a generation of people being abused, right? And trickling down
Yeah.
that abuse from generation to generation.
Hmm.
And we're that's all some people know. Like this is what I know, and this is what I'm going to do to teach you.
Mhm.
But that's what they've been taught, and that's what the
Yes.
person that did it to them has been taught. So it's like a trickle down of generational dehumanization,
Yes.
and we do it to our kids, and sometimes people do it and they're not even conscious that they're doing it, right? So it's like, damn, it sounds crazy to hear,
Hmm.
but it
Yeah.
happens. I heard it
Hmm.
going to secondary school. I heard this lady cursing her daughter out. How they say cursing out stink.
Hmm.
And
Mm.
she's like, that's why I'm going to put the sauce in your again.
Hmm.
And we at that time we were laughing like, what?
Hmm.
Mhm.
Who
Yeah,
get that?
that
You
is
know,
abuse.
but now
I
we're
mean,
looking back.
can I add to, like, when I grew up, I knew about the motor tire, where there was kindle
Yes.
tire and that it's flame, and that when you get that, that stings you so much. And the flower, it's a black shoe flower, you get beaten with that. But my thing is this: what I notice nowadays, parenting should start from home. Doesn't matter if you're a single parent or not. Okay, Now, I also believe in the community raising your child. I remember as a child growing up, and if I'm walking on the street and misbehaving, dare, who dare me? If Miss Cherry up the street saw me, I'm getting a
They
whooping.
tell your mom.
Tell my
Mm-hmm.
sister, and I'm gonna get another whooping. What I've also seen firsthand with my son when I was living in New York, he was going to a prep school in New York, which was Jamaican run. All the teachers, principal, they were Jamaicans. Now,
Mm-hmm.
no child ever dare be rude to those teachers. You understand what I'm saying? Discipline is the key. And the
Yes.
other thing, we're here in Florida now. I think the school system is too slack. We take out the Bible, we take out certain things, and it's
Yes.
like certain disciplines, certain principles. It's not there anymore. And children, to my in my opinion, also they're like sponges. So we parents have to be careful of what we do around them, what we say around them, and they follow suit sometimes. So the things that we are doing, sometimes we're not aware that it's affecting what they do as well. So that's just my take on that.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right on that.
Mhm.
And just to go back to the article Julian was talking about, it was based off a Bermudan therapist saying that, traditional discipline
Oh
is
yeah.
less effective on children. And his name is Julian Neves. And I wanted to say that after reading this article, I was very much impressed that it's a seminar that dads attend, right? Dads come out from their communities, and they try to find different ways to deal with their kids, to reach their kids, and to communicate more effectively with their kids. So I just wanted to shout out those men who are doing that. And I think the Caribbean, all over the world, men need to be more present and more there in their kids' lives. Because again, remember, in terms of hurt people is traumatic, right? We see a lot of kids acting out, and most of the times it's like, my dad is not in the household, my
Yeah.
father is not present. So again, sometimes we think, well, kids are acting out, and being in this setting where you're seeing kids and you're dealing with kids and you're dealing with families, get to see basically that we deal with a lot of things in a vacuum, right? We don't call them what it is. And there's a lot of trauma that is happening, and we don't know because our kids are not telling us, and their parents don't know. And so the parents cannot shed light to the teachers on what's happening.
Mhm.
So, we definitely have to be vigilant when it comes to our children, and allowing them to speak to us, and not for us just to listen to answer. Listen, take it in, hear them out, go back to a place of your childhood and think about the situation that they're talking to you about, because you lived it, right? You had some type of similar experience, and just bring yourself back to that place where you understand. And I think that's where we can start having effective discipline, because now our kids know that when we're disciplining them, we're coming from a caring place. We're not just coming from a control place because we are the authority figure in their lives. We are the authority figures in their lives, and we're going to tell you what is right and wrong. But you also know that you have a trusting person that you can reach out to when you need to, right?
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
think that goes a long way. So shout out to these men out there who are doing a phenomenal job and wanting to be more effective and present with their kids and seeking the help that they need. And I find, Julian, I find that was a very great read. It was a very refreshing article to read, and just to see that men are stepping up to the plate and seeing things in a different viewpoint, and not just, well, I'm just the provider. You're the listener as well. You're the nurturer as well. And you're needed in your household, right? Your
Mhm.
kids need you to be present, to feel that presence, and also in our schools, right?
Yeah.
And it's very important. It's very, very important that we need to acknowledge that. So, with all that being said, I also wanted to share something that I wanted to share for a very long time, since our 4 day long wait from the election. Miss Jill Biden, I had a lot of time to soak her up. And I know for a lot of women, viewing Miss Jill Biden being our first lady now, And being the first lady that is going to be working, right? She's breaking a lot of barriers, and being the first lady that is in the White House teaching. Hey, to all my teachers out there, all my educators, I love it. And one of the things that stood out to me about Jill, she said that teachers are professionals and they should be paid like one. Now, I know we talked about the corporate world, and I know that we have Queen here, and Julian and Yolandi, and we have all professionals sitting on this panel. What do you think about that quote that teachers, or let's talk about it from a female perspective, that we're in professional fields and we need to be acknowledged and paid like one?
Mhm.
Well, without teachers, we would not be sitting down here speaking eloquently today,
Mhm.
forming our words properly. So I think they should be recognized. And like I have a program that I host as well, Ladies Uplifting and Inspiring. And I remember recognizing all our essential workers during this pandemic. And teachers were ones that were not mentioned too much. And I think they're very, very important because, as parents, when we're away from our kids, they're like the second parents to our children as well. And they, groom them, they help us nurture them and teach them the rights from the wrongs. So they should be paid. I think they should be recognized more and paid for what they are.
Yeah.
I
Thank you.
absolutely agree. And I just want to mention too, I know there's a lot of chatter going on in the comments. I want to
Mhm.
at least acknowledge our audience members for posting. If you have not taken the answer the question we asked earlier was, what age should we start talking to our children about sex? So if you get that popping up on your phone, go ahead, answer that, and let us know what you think. And if you're just joining us, we're having a really killer show today, talking with our new guest host, Julian and Queen, as they join us. I echo all the comments of our ladies when I say yes, teachers should be acknowledged. Teachers, the good ones, because as with all professions, there are some people that I think do not belong in the classroom. So for those teachers that have, and I have been influenced by so many really good teachers. So I echo that as well, Colleen, that yes, teachers should be compensated. And I saw in the comment they said they should even pay taxes, and I absolutely agree. Because it's a thankless job. Because quite frankly, I don't want to spend 8 hours teaching my kids. I don't care. I love my kids to death. I do not want to stand in front of them. I couldn't do it. And for teachers to go in day out, day in that classroom with these children, I'm like, how do you do it? By the time we pick up those kids at 4 o'clock in the evening, by 6 o'clock, we've had it. And those teachers
Right?
have been sitting, we've had it by six
Yeah.
o'clock, we
You're
want to kill them.
exhausted. You're exhausted.
And these teachers are doing it. So I really want to commend, and they are essential workers. They've had to switch to learning Zoom and learn this platform and that platform. And to watch them do it and pivot is like gymnastics, man. And I commend all these teachers, men, women, all the paraprofessionals in the classroom. My hat's off to you.
Mhm. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I want to agree with you, Lisa, that public school teachers should not, because that same tax dollars you charge, they're going back and they're buying supplies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Spend that money all over again to make sure that every child in their classroom has the things that they need. And another thing that stood out to me also is that Jill suggests that our Secretary of Education be a teacher. And that was a phenomenal statement because, again, we had Betsy the Boss. And for everyone who knows Miss Betsy the
She's
Boss,
never spent a day in the classroom.
Mhm.
she was the one that was supposed to repeat the grade, but they sent her up. I didn't say that out loud. Sorry, I did not say that out loud. But yes, she has not been a great person, especially in the fields of special education.
Right.
She has done a lot of damage and cutting funding for people for students in special education fields. And again, I am just saying, for people who do not understand what happens behind the chalkboard or behind the Zoom calls or behind the Promethean board, there are kids who need need a lot of one-on-one support. They're not only they're not only challenged with disabilities, they're also challenged with traumas from home. And
Mhm.
the fact that you are cutting into their learning while you sit on billions of dollars and have not donated a cent, Miss Betsy DeVos, you have been the donkey of the day from the day you came into
How
office.
many donkeys we gonna have today?
We're going to
I've got
call them
two
out.
so far.
We're, hey, we're going to call them out, right?
Donkey of the day. Betsy DeVos.
What's his name? Charlemagne, don't call me tomorrow. Tell me I owe you nothing. I'm just
Yes.
saying what you said, right? But again, there's so many kids out there who needs the funding, and who the teachers, the schools, and just this the things that they have been doing while they were in power, and just making the learning gap so wide for our kids. Shame on you guys. But I am trusting that Ms. Biden, who has been an educator for over 30 years, is going to step in, and she's going to do some amazing work. And I'm just hoping that those educators out there that has been holding it down, that has been their kids' biggest advocates, pushing and going with the flow, and going through the holes in the trenches to make sure that their kids' needs are being met. I humbly salute you. So
Mhm. Mhm.
now that we have that said, okay, ladies, now I wanted to just change it all around, that I got that off my chest. Betsy was bothering me for a while, and I
Yeah.
just had a few.
And I'm always amazed. I see we have like 7 minutes left. Like, wow, where did the time
Yes,
go?
we're
Yeah.
going to have fun with this one. We're definitely going to. So, ladies, do you think that if a lady steps to your man, you should check her or you should check him? Answer that question in the chats, because I don't know. That one is a hot one. So, should we go after the side chick, or we should go after the husbands, the boyfriends, the man, the
We
one?
ain't going after nobody. Let peace reign. I ain't going after nobody. I don't have the energy or the time. Take it away.
Yeah,
Neither. Neither.
Neither. No energy for that.
I have no energy. I think when you get to a certain age in life, okay, the 25-year-old me, I'm going after everybody. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get her. The 46-year-old me, 45.
What if that person is your best friend?
Both of
oh,
them can have each other. If
on
my
that.
husband is solo and my best friend is solo, the two of
Mhm.
them can on. I don't have the
Mhm.
energy. I'm a woman of a certain age.
Well, so am I, but I definitely have the energy. If my
Do
best
I,
friend has
I don't think
energy,
there were. I don't think either of them is
Go
worth
and
it.
land
Right now.
I'm going. I am all in.
Both of
Yes,
them. You're
I
going
worry
after both
about.
of them.
yes,
I'm going
Yes,
for everybody.
everybody.
yes.
Somebody.
But
Yolandi,
I'm going
all
for
of them
him
British.
first.
Palette, sit on the grater, sit on the rice. Get the palette,
Make him kneel on the grave.
get
Yes.
it off.
He's gonna kneel on the grater,
Kneel on the grater.
and somebody's gonna have a lot of pepper in their mouth.
Yeah. And you
Yes.
know why? You
In
know
every
why
mouth.
I'm going in beyond it? Because this is something that we'd have sat and spoken about, the respect, what, you like, I like. So if you're going out of pocket in front of me, hey, you're gonna have it. I'm sorry. I'm
Both of
gonna
them can. I'm tired. Both of them can go. They don't deserve me. Any man that's gonna be with my best friend, you do not deserve
then we
me.
push him to the curb after D. We're gonna deal
Oh
with
yeah,
it.
go after him first and push him. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. You say push him off the curb?
No,
Have
push
to.
him to the curb. Like
Oh, push him to the
after,
curb.
yes, push him to the
Mhm.
curb.
You
Yes.
have to go.
I was about to say push him off the curb, but Yolandi, we're here. We're here. I got the time, and I got the time for both of y'all.
I got no.
Of
And
course,
And we're
of
laughing
course.
about this like it's funny, but these things actually happen.
I
They
think the
do.
first thing you need to do
And
is
it's
you need to
horrible.
check your husband. You need to check your husband to see where he's coming
Thanks,
from.
Precious. Thanks,
Yes.
Precious, for coming.
You know
Carla.
that is just what somebody said at 54. Me too
Oh,
hot to be
Lord.
bothered with all the
Yes,
mess.
thank you, Angela.
Hello.
Angela, I love
Yes,
it.
you go,
You say that
Angela.
more.
Yeah,
Angela said, "I'm too hot." I just
you know.
like the fact that she says, "I'm just too hot."
We just too hot and can't be bothered. I think at a certain age you just because the young me would have run the car over this one, back up the car upon that
Oh
the
my
one.
gosh! Oh my gosh! You said
Yeah.
on the car.
Yes, I would. I know I wouldn't.
I think
Uh,
the best thing to do sometimes too is just like like just say, hey, this is what I'm going to show you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people say
Mm-hmm.
that the grass is always greener on the other side. So now it's time to start, pouring into yourself,
Mhm.
making your grass green, right?
Yeah.
that's right.
And when
That's
Yeah.
you
right.
cross
Like
that over
Lisa,
there, that
like
bridge is
Lisa,
gonna be broken.
Mhm.
You can't
like
get
Lisa
away from that.
said, yeah. Lisa said,
Truthfully,
grow up
if
and know.
somebody is putting you in situations where you have to fight everybody,
Yes.
It's
then
not good for you. It's not healthy.
Well,
it's not healthy for you because you could end up in jail.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
I know people who
True.
have gone to jail for situations like that.
Mhm.
So
And that's why I say I don't
you
have the
have
time
to,
for this
and then
foolishness.
you take
I'm
your
gonna say,
destroying your whole family.
I'm gonna say,
You're
pick your
sitting in
battles,
jail. Your
though.
kids are raised by somebody else, all because you lost your
You
cool.
either
You
accept
basically
him,
lost
you
it.
either accept him or move on. But I'm not going after nobody.
The important thing, ladies, is to invest in yourself. The
Absolutely.
the
See that?
biggest thing you can do is reward yourself, get your nails done, get your hair done, take a
Drop 10
course, develop your
pounds.
mind, do
Yes.
some mindfulness courses, center yourself,
Mhm.
and pray.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Do your best, and God will do the rest.
See
Get your
there.
grass greener on your side,
That's
right?
Mhm.
right.
So pick your
That's
battles
true.
though. Pick your battles. I'm gonna say this though. There are some battles you fight and some battles you leave alone because it's just not worth it. But I think too when you think about family and you think about the time that you invest, think about your money, okay? Because that goes out the door too. And you
Mhm.
protect your money, you protect your bag, as I say.
Hmm.
And again, you have to have the conversation at home first.
Mhm.
Or
Take
just join an online dating site.
you said what?
Do you
Join
do
an
that?
Join an
online
online
dating
dating
site.
Would
site.
you do that, Dion? Online
Or
dating?
just
And
hang out
give
with
the
your
password.
girlfriend.
And
Just
give the
hang out.
password. Oh my gosh. It's a very sensitive topic and a very sensitive subject. And it when I read it definitely put me in a place of thinking, right?
Mhm.
And you start thinking, is it worth it? Is
Mhm.
it really worth it to have to be fighting with people for something that is free and it's love, it's respect, it's trust, and these things are free. It's not sitting on a shelf with a price tag. And I don't think that you have to pay for it in terms of losing your family, losing your kids, losing
Not
your
worth it.
freedom,
Mhm.
losing
Mhm.
yourself as
Yeah.
a person. So it was a deep thing. And despite the fact that we got a few laughs out of it, I think a lot of women now are sitting in jail reflecting on the fact that he was not even worth it to begin with. And here I'm
Yeah.
sitting with my life, taken away from me, the opportunities, because when you get back out into the what they call the real world, it's hard, right? It's hard to go back to adjust, and society looks at you in a different way. So I feel that if we have to fight for the things that are free, um, it's free. We can definitely find it
Find it
somewhere and
somewhere else.
develop.
That's right.
We can develop it ourselves. We can
Yeah.
find it within ourselves. So on this note, I'd like to thank you guys for joining us, but I have some bittersweet news before I go. I wanted to, say thank you to all the people that has been joining, tuning in, sending their love. I want you to continue doing that. But today would be my last Sunday on the show. I am going to be taking some time off to focus on school, focus on my little kiddos, more so school. As you guys know, I am in education field. I am going to be a teacher in the classroom, and I want to make sure that what I'm bringing to the kids that I would be seeing on a daily basis or coming into contact with is that I'm giving them 1,000%. I think about my kids and I reflect of the education that I want them to receive, the love that I want them to receive from the teachers that they entrusting them to, and I want to reflect that. So I want to make sure that I am dotting all my I's and I'm crossing all my T's and I'm staying focused on what it is that I have to. And I know that my lovely, beautiful ladies are gonna hold it down until I get back. And just know that when I do come back, I'm coming back with more information, more things that is going to bring awareness to the education field, and more close to home information on how our kids are being affected. And I want for 30 years down the road that my children could turn around and say, well, Miss Bridgman was an impact to my life. And so that's what I'm working on. And that's what I'm working towards. So while I am doing that, keep me in your prayers, keep me in your thoughts. And, I can't wait to come back and be sitting here with you guys and having fun and laughing and sharing in the wonderful moments. So awesome show, guys. Awesome Sunday to all the ones that has been joining us from day one. Much love goes out to you guys. Thank you for your continuous support of Top 5 and the ladies that are on the panel. Hummelin, I see you. I'm going to make
Hey, Hermie.
much love. Thank you, Queen. Thank you, Julian, for being
Oh,
an
you're welcome.
amazing asset to us today. Beautiful Hummelin, beautiful Diani. Again, as I say, I'm a skip and a call away. So, with all that said, happy Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your days, guys. Love you. Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Dion. Thank you, Julian. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Debbie, and all the phenomenal people who have sent their well wishes. Thank you, Keisha. Have an awesome Sunday. Bye.
Bye.